Guys, what's going on? This is Dave Tilley. We're back just talking about some basic rehab and kind of maintenance care stuff that you should be doing kind of every week in the gym. So gymnastics is a weird sport that has a lot of demand on the shoulders, and kind of the primary stabilizer of your shoulder is going to be your rotator cuff. Your rotator cuff and your scap muscles tend to be really important. And definitely for guys, this should be an absolute no-brainer, but for girls too, you should be doing a basic kind of rotator cuff circuit just to get those muscles strong to kind of go along with your regular strengthening, right? A lot of people are already doing plenty of rope climbs and pull-ups and push-ups, and that's awesome, but if those muscles get really strong and you don't have equal strength of the stabilizers around your shoulder, especially in a loose jointed gymnast who typically has more laxity in their ligaments, you might have to have some sliding around in the shoulder joint. You might have some problems hitting proper handstand stacking positions. So we usually prescribe people about 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 of these exercises with very light weights, 5 pounds at first, but then working up 1 pound a week to make it so it's really, really hard. We got to hypertrophy these muscles, so we got to push them a little bit. So we're going to start by going on our side. I'm going to grab one dumbbell. And these exercises are all kind of supported by research to be the hardest and more demanding, called EMG studies, where they make these muscles of your rotator cuff work hard. So we just picked these 5 because they seem to have really good research behind them. So starting with our elbow tucked here, we're going to go up and down 10 times nice and slow. And we'll just show you a few reps here, but you're going to go 10 to 12 of these, right? Trying to make sure the elbow's at 90 degrees and they're feeling some work in the back of their shoulders, right? Following this, they're going to come slide down a little bit and then go off the table. So they're going to be hanging their arm kind of this way. Now we're working on our middle trap here in our rhomboids. We're going to do a T. We're going to come out to the side here. So here and all the way down. A couple things that are really important here. You want to make sure they're using their shoulder blade, that there's space between their shoulder and the table, right? And that they're not trying to use their neck muscles too much. So going to go 3 or 4 of those, and then we'll go Y overhead. Now we're working on the lower trap fibers, right, of the scapula and some of the posterior rotator cuff as well. So we'll do 2 to 3 reps of those, and then probably the hardest one is going to be what's called a U. So we're going to row our elbow up to shoulder height, and we're going to rotate up this way, here, and then back down. Okay, very high demand of the middle trap, lower trap, and rhomboids, right? That's going to be super demanding, but it's going to make somebody really have to work for that last little bit of range of motion. And then lastly, what we'll do is just going to be we'll do this one sitting, but we would usually do this one standing if we had more space. So we're going to sit back down. We're going to do what's doing a full can. So we're going to raise our thumbs about 45 degrees straight ahead in this plane. Right, so this is the last of the 4 rotator cuff muscles called your supraspinatus. The other one worked on your infraspinatus, your teres minor, right? And then we also have some middle trap, lower trap. All those things together make up rotator cuff, scapula, and you can rest, right? But all those things are super important to do. If you don't do those things, the hanging swinging forces are 2.5 to 4 times body weight in really big giant skills. There's a lot of weight-bearing joint force on our arms. You have to have those muscles nice and strong to support the joint, but also maintain a proper handstand stacking position.